This is season 3. I am so happy to be here at my favorite number, and I am ready to make this your favorite season yet. We've made some exciting changes based on the feedback from our audience. Thank you to everyone who shared their thoughts on how we can make things better. We're gonna push to make this one bigger and better than ever. More intentional conversations, better visuals, because yes, this podcast does have a visual version live on YouTube, and better audio for your ears to love on all streaming platforms. Subscribe to our Patreon to get access to all of the episodes 2 weeks early. Feel free to reach out to us and let us know what you love about the show and what you think we can do better. And please remember to share this with your friends and family. Enjoy the episode. All right, man. Well, welcome to the I Feel You podcast. You are the first episode of season 3, yes, which is super exciting. And, a few changes are going to be happening for this season that you're going to see. But I'm super excited to start this off and to kick it off with somebody that I don't actually know too well, somebody that I only see through social media. Yeah. It's really exciting to get those one-on-one conversations when that's kind of the only way I know someone. Yeah. It just it feels good. It feels good to really, speak to someone and be in the same presence, in the same room. So welcome to the show. Thank you for being on.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me, boss.
Yeah, for sure. My pleasure. So just so y'all know, I'm going to read off your bio. This is TR3. This is his name. He utilizes soft melodic instrumentals accompanied by elements of jazz to juxtapose his emotionally charged yet introspective lyrics. At 22 years old, he has established with immense pride his lyrical prowess and multifaceted flow at every given opportunity, never at the cost of sacrificing his eccentric personality and distinctive humor. After gaining the attention and investment of the staff at SiriusXM, Sway in the Morning, as well as being labeled the future of Queens rap by Sway himself.
Fuck it, I work with pesos on payroll if I need be. Ain't that the shit that got Rocky to stand out? Don't approach with your hand out. I only shake and take checks. Michael J. Fox and gray sweats. I'm essential to rap like a latex on safe sex. You big heads rapping around your mind that I don't play yet.
He was brought back to participate in their annual Doomsday Cypher and delivered 2 phenomenal performances produced by Powers Pleasant and DJ Premier himself. QU-Herald, a 30-minute release, comprised. Jesus, I can't say words today, man. I've messed up like valid, 7 different.
Valid, bro. I would have messed up 50 times at this point, bro.
No, it's a great bio. It's a great bio to read. But comprised of 7 songs, a nod to his local subway train, was released in 2022. Today, actually, July 18th, serving as a love letter to his origins and upbringing in Queens, New York. Shout out to Queens.
Shout out to Queens.
Always, bro. So you born in East Elmhurst,
born
right?
And raised East Elmhurst, Queens.
That's fire, man. So what has your family always been there, or is it?
I mean, we would kind of move around. At one point, I lived in the Poconos and Poconos. I'm bugging. The Poconos and Flushing. Yo, bro, see, we both
in the Poconos. Yeah, that's crazy.
Nah, that'd be crazy. But I lived in Flushing for a minute. Yeah. I lived right up the block from my old house actually for like 2 years. But it's always been in Queens.
Nice.
I don't think there was ever a point in my life where I lived outside of Queens. Truthfully.
Nice. Yeah, I love Queens. I don't know much about it. I haven't been there too often. Like, I'm from Orlando, Florida, if you didn't know.
That's fire.
I moved here like 5 years ago to Brooklyn, so Brooklyn's where I've been the whole time.
Brooklyn's ill, bro.
Yeah,
but
I love Queens, man. My best friend and my partner, she's from Queens. And I feel like, I don't know what it is about Queens. I feel like whenever somebody's from New York, I feel like people who are native, it's people who say they're from New York, and then there's people who say they're from Queens. Like, I feel like in my experience, and it's only 5 years. It's my anecdotal experience, but I just feel like that's a different kind of pride.
It's definitely a prideful thing if you're from Queens. Like, I come to a point where I don't even want to say East Elmhurst. I just say Queens because I feel like it's self-explanatory. But for the most part, it was just, taking pride in where you come from. Like, New York is obviously the place that you want people to know where you originate from. Like, New York is amazing. There's not a single place in this world like this.
Yeah.
However, Queens, like, that diversity, like, that specific, like, energy that you get to, like, be around, like, on a 24/7 basis, I think it's, like, special. And, just want to let it be known. Queens, New York.
Yeah. That's fire. There's not many. I feel like there's something I speak on a bit, but there aren't many artists that are young and upcoming that have like a place to rep. Like a lot of artists come from you know, random places in the Midwest and like in the you know, kind of like the East Coast, but like weird parts of the East Coast, and they always just end up repping like New York or you know,
they come out here
Atlanta,
and you know,
or Florida or whatever.
I mean, it definitely makes sense to come out here to try to get your buzz, and that's always kind of been a plan, like even before social media was popping.
For sure.
And you know, you lived out here for a while, you feel like you could connect to the place, obviously rep it, but I feel like if you don't live here, I mean, if you weren't born here, it's just a different,
it's a different energy.
Exactly.
How does it feel to be able to? How does it feel to have? Because I mean, I love Orlando. Don't get me wrong. Born in Ohio, Orlando's cool, and it's, you know, I want to be able to rep and be proud of where I'm from. So I don't know what it really feels like, but how does it feel to be able to just like to love where you're from? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I feel like, I don't know if I would have loved like where I came from if I was in a different borough. I don't know if I would have had that sense of pride. Yeah. Obviously, being able to say you're in one of the most diverse places in the world, like you can literally walk down a block and you're gonna get a new experience, the people, just the connections that you can make, and everything that just revolves around Queens. I feel like it's easier to attach yourself to. And obviously they have cons. Like, I'm not even gonna get into the subway. I'm not gonna get into like fucking addresses, like streets, all of the BS that you can like, you know, pick on Queens for. But
for sure,
when we're talking about like the positives, I feel like it outweighs that like a ton. And like I said, if I lived in fucking New Jersey, New York, or anywhere that wasn't like Queens, New York, I don't know if I still would have that sense of like, every day I'm gonna let you know I'm from here. Like, I'm gonna let it be known that's my like presence.
Yeah, for sure. And so speaking of subways, you released the album that we talked about already. It's called QU-Herald. Listen to it today. It's phenomenal.
Appreciate that.
I really love the vibe. There aren't many young rappers out there doing like rap albums, you know? Like, it felt like a true rap album. What, I guess, how long you been working on that album specifically?
My last project before that was in 2020, like middle of summer, I believe. And I feel like I was in a spot in my life where it was a lot of self-doubt and just kind of like nitpicking my craft and seeing if there was things that could like, you know, obviously be progressed, which there are.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was like a lot of perfectionism and just like wanting to make sure everything was like, every I was dotted, every T was crossed. And I think it took way longer than anticipated. I kind of was at a point where I just wanted to figure more stuff out about myself outside of the career, outside of music. And obviously it's going to go back into my craft, and I'm going to get to tell these stories and experiences that I needed to take time away from music to tell. But ultimately it took maybe like a year. I want to say like less than a year. I had the songs already written. Like, nice. It was just a matter of getting the right production, getting it recorded, like finding a like timeline that made sense. Cause I didn't know. I was kind of scared. I didn't want to just like drop it and be like, here's the project. Like, I'm gonna go away for another 2 years. So I really wanted there to be a plan to follow through after the release, and thank God there is. And I'm really ready to get back into working. But
that's fine.
It took a year and a half to kind of get back into like that artist mode.
It happens, man. I feel you on the self-doubt. It was, it's been an interesting season for me as well, in terms of finding, like, it takes a lot of work and a lot of fighting to get to where you want to be as an artist. And it feels pretty unsurmountable sometimes. Feels like it's impossible sometimes to just love your sound and to
I'm not gonna lie, I still didn't even listen to the project. Like, I see it on Spotify, I just skipped it. Like, I ignore it. I just want to see how everyone else feels, because it's always gonna be that bit of like bias. Like, you're not gonna love everything you make 100%, and if you do, you know, congratulations. Like, you're the first person that I met, you know, to really say, you know, I'm confident in everything I did. And for me, I didn't want to really like not be transparent. I wanted it to be known and be honest with myself. Like, yo, I don't know if this is like 100%, but I still want to put it out. I still want to make the attempt and let y'all know that I'm gonna keep working on my craft every chance that it's given.
That's what it's about. It's about kind of just putting it out there anyway, because I feel like certain projects have their lifespan in your personal life, and then it has its lifespan outside of your personal life. Like, once you put it out, you know, you support it and you prop it up, but outside of you, it just kind of has its own energy and its own like it does what it does, you know.
Of course.
And I feel like that's hard to do sometimes as artists, to let it go, because you know I don't love the tracks that I have out there, but I feel like I had to let them go.
Of course.
You know, that's kind of how it feels. But I will say though, it sounds beautiful, man. It sounds really great. Like you got bars.
I really appreciate that, man.
You got bars.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. What's your favorite bar that you've ever written?
Ever? Okay.
Maybe you could start with Herald and then maybe say ever if it's not Herald, you know.
It probably is Herald. So the first track off of it is called I Spit This for Primo, and obviously
I love that.
the background is just that I was on Doomsday Cypher. DJ Premier was one of the producers. We had a chance to, you know, spit a verse with his instrumental.
Which is crazy.
It was oh my God. Like, just to say, like, I was able to do that. And I think I spit my best verse for him. Like, I didn't want to come, like, halfway. So I think one of the bars that stands out, and I made this in, like, I think 2019. Like, so the context of it afterwards is kind of crazy. If they see my cipher and bump it, that means I'm clutching a 60 and a 24 jersey. Worthy, not James, man, that's backwards, actors worry. So if I'm clutching of 60 and a 24 jersey, Kobe Bryant, God bless Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. He scored 60 points in his last game ever. Not James Worthy, because James Worthy had a 32 number on his jersey. He was a Laker in like the old ass 80s, 90s. LeBron James had 23. It's just like to be able to break it down and like kind of get like different branches of it. Like that's what I wanted to go for, and like that's a bar that I was really proud of. And you know, sometimes I just try to outdo myself, and I look at like that as an example to like kind of reach that like threshold. And I think that's my favorite bar ever. Honestly, I can't even like think of anything else right off the top of my head.
That makes. I mean, the fact that it comes off the top, like it means a lot to, you know.
Yeah.
It means a lot for that bar. So, what's your process like in writing? How long does it take you to come up with something like that?
Oh my God. Like, it's a combination of scattered bars that I don't want to lose at the time. So I just write it down in my notes. All right, I'm gonna get back to it later.
Yeah.
I pretty much just do this like weird like puzzle where like I'll take a song that I wasn't really paying attention to. All right, I think these two bars make the most sense for this. And then after a while, I just kind of get in a groove and I try to finish it.
Yeah.
But it takes like, I want to say a week or two for me to really feel confident, like, all right, I can record this song if I really put attention to it.
Okay.
But it's a really scattered process. Like, I just leave it for like a month, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I forgot I had this bar.
Yeah. And you just like grab from different areas of your notes and like your you know. So
exactly.
That's interesting. As I'm starting to write, because I write too, but as I'm starting to write, at first it was just like writing full things, trying to finish one thing, but then now it's been like writing a thing. It's like if I don't keep going, I'm like, okay, we'll leave that there for now. And it's the same thing, and it's like, you know, I remember that thing that I wrote, let me grab this and put it in there, and then it leads, you know, to more. And that's also about hearing the right track. And I know you know this, but like sometimes when you get that track, it's like, I have to write to this, and I know exactly what I'm putting on this. Like,
honestly,
what's that process like for you?
I like to like figure out what the production sounds like before I even find the song. And sometimes if like I just remember the lyrics and I hear the beat and I'm like, all right, see if it could work. I'll see if it matches. I don't know. It's really just making sure that the beat makes sense and making sure that it matches with like the aesthetic or like the vibe that I'm trying to go for overall. And once I get the instrumental ready, it's just like, all right, what makes the most sense with this beat? Because I don't want it to just be like, all right, I have 16 bars that like match the BPM, so I'm just gonna make it work. Like, if I have to make a song from scratch, which like I said takes sometimes like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't mind, because it's just for the sake of making sure I have the best product and making sure that it makes the most sense.
Do you make your own beats?
I'm not that talented.
Okay,
I wish I had that.
I mean, anybody can develop that skill. So, of course. You know, I think at some point you're going to want to make your own beats. I think that's going to be natural.
I mean, I don't want to say GarageBand counts, because it's a lot of
bro.
like,
anything counts, bro. Anything counts.
I mean, I made the attempt, of course, and I tried, but it's nothing that like I felt confident enough to like record over my own.
It's tough. It's tough. How do you find your beats?
YouTube.
Nice.
I don't really have like a producer at home, like just, you know, making beats on the spot. So I just kind of pick from not gonna lie, you know, type beats. I'll think of an artist that I think kind of matches the vibe that I want to go with, and if the beat sounds fire, you know, just set it up.
There's so many beats out there that need to get, you know, that need to get bodied sometimes. Like it's I have a lot of friends that do that, and it works. Like especially when you're starting out, like there are some insane producers out there, producers that haven't even been found yet. Like people who make insane beats, but they only post them and nobody really looks at them. Like there's somebody, you know, waiting to be found. I think it's a tough profession too, to be honest. So yeah, I was just curious, but that's fire, because all the beats on fire. The beats on fire.
Appreciate that.
And I can't wait for the day, because somebody's gonna pull up to you one day and be like, "Yeah, I'm a producer. Let me just make you beats." Like that's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if you're a producer out there, you got TR3 right here. He's waiting for some shit to smack.
Always ready to work.
You were, I when I saw this, I was like, no way, what the fuck, how? Like you were on Sway. Like, how did that happen? Like,
so,
what?
It was just like a bunch of like fortunate events that just kind of pieced together. But ultimately, somebody that had an ear with, you know, SiriusXM, they heard my song 7 Line that was on my first like debut album. Thought it was amazing. We kind of established a connection, and you know, from there they just kind of saw the opportunity and thought it made the most sense.
Okay.
So I was on the first, I think, Fire Friday site. I don't even know, because before like we came up, it didn't even exist. It was just freestyles and just, you know, introducing new artists.
Yeah.
So for me and Bones Brigante, we just kind of did this thing where we were just going back and forth over the beat. So 16 bars, 32 bars, and they ended up calling it Fire Friday Cypher, like after we came up. So we basically created that whole segment that they ended up doing.
That's crazy.
Like, later on, but it was just, you know, a blessing to have the opportunity, and you know, for them to hear that song and to believe in that potential, and you know, look at what happened after. It was just, I was really fortunate enough.
Yeah, off of one track, man. It's beautiful.
One track, it's all it takes.
One track is really all it takes, man. And you got it's crazy, because like, I mean, you spit, like you went off on the
thank you
on the freestyles, and like you got the cosign, you know what I'm saying? Like Sway was literally, it was like, yo, this is
always love for Sway. I'm really appreciative
crazy,
of that,
man.
honestly.
No, yeah, I mean, I've always loved Sway. Just a legend, and putting people on too. Like it's admirable that they find everybody, you know, they look at people who aren't, they're not always trying to get just the top of the top, you know, they're trying to, you know, support other artists and support local artists as well, which is super important.
Exactly.
And
that platform is amazing.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, just look it up. It's insane. So I guess like I want to talk more about that moment too, because for some people, like they don't for people who don't do it, you know, don't do what we do, they don't really sometimes understand how much that moment means and how much pressure there is.
Yeah.
Talk about those few moments where you had to like basically like, you know, you had to prove.
I feel like that was the most amount of pressure I felt in like recent memory. Like just the like hours leading up to it, I didn't get any sleep. Like maybe I got 4 hours of sleep in the studio. After that, woke up, get your coffee, get your bacon, egg, and cheese. We driving on the highway to Manhattan. Like you just have 2 hours in traffic with your thoughts and like thinking of all these scenarios and just getting up there. And, I don't know, like Sway definitely made us more comfortable. Just the initial meeting and the conversation really put me at ease and letting us know that, you know, it's a support system. We're all here to just see each other shine, and it's not a competition. We're all just trying to eat at the end of the day. So that definitely put me in a better mindset, but I kind of had to get back into that, like, you know, nervous mindset being in front of the mic, and it's live. You can't really like F up and think that, you know, everything's going to be fine. They're going to hear you mess up, and you just kind of got to deal with it. But I just remembered all of the lyrics I needed. I remembered my like presence. I remembered all of those pieces that like brought me to this moment, and just took advantage of it. And after that, I was just happy to see the reaction. Everybody was fucking happy.
Everybody was fucking with it, which is, so that's what you want at the end of the day. You just want people
you just want to see people fuck with it.
You want people to have a good time too. Like that's what we do. You know, that's at the end of the day, it's to make sure that everybody around us is having a good time, or at least thinking about it. You know, thinking about I like to think that, you know, really good art brings you in, like it brings you back into yourself. It's like the introspection. So I feel like off of the lyrics and off of what you did, I feel like certain people had things to think about. And it makes you want to be better too, like to see you doing it out there. It's like there's a chance for people, there's a chance for anybody who's coming up. You don't need thousands of followers, you don't need millions of followers to start off, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, honestly. You just need the one opportunity. And so I guess coming off the back of that, going into the new projects afterwards, like I'm sure that fueled you a lot, right? Like you were just like, I want to work, right?
Put a battery in my back without a question.
That's beautiful. And how do you, TR3, how do you take advantage of those moments?
As far as like being able to be on a platform like Sway?
Yeah, and like coming off of that and the art that comes afterwards, yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. This is the transparency speaking.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of stagnant after like that whole process. And being thankful to, even be on that stage, to be able to make these moments, to have like people just know you off of like that whole like, moment. It was great. And I definitely wanted to build off of that. And I did. I made sure that I grabbed every fan that stuck around after those like, ciphers and these freestyles and interviews. And God willing, I still got a couple of them around. But it was just, being a little bit too stagnant, like I said, just not taking that like consistency serious. And I was on stage and I was on that like, cipher with people that are still working, people that got like to amazing points in their life just off of that like, cipher alone. So it fueled me in a way where I'm like, all right, I definitely put myself in this position where I got to double the work, where I have to be twice as like, efficient. But, I'm always going to have that support. Like I said, it's nothing but love from Sirius and Sway. He's always been supportive and in my corner. Yeah. So it's just, got to show the work and got to make sure the content's there.
So what do you think led to kind of like the if you don't mind speaking on it, what do you think led to the stagnant nature that you had afterwards?
It was definitely a lot of self-doubt, like I said, and a mixture of wanting to make sure the next move was the best move, and not being able to kind of like come to grips with the fact like not everyone's going to be satisfied. You're not even going to be satisfied. Like the final product isn't going to be what you want it to always be. And not to say that it's trash, not to say that it's going to be a 180 from what you did originally. But it definitely was me wanting to make sure everyone was satisfied. Yeah. And I think that was where I messed up, because I didn't focus on my core. Yeah. I didn't focus on trying to establish a foundation to where it's genuine and people are able to attach themselves to me without having to hit every mark and trying to hit every like sound and style. But it was, it was a lot of self-doubt, and it was a lot of just like fear of rejection, and wanted to make sure that like the craft was like at its best, knowing that I still had to like get better every time.
Still had to learn, there's still a lot to learn.
There's a lot to learn.
That's tough. I feel that heavily though. I relate to that a lot, and it's interesting because sometimes it's hard to understand, because I've been on both sides where like I have friends that are insanely talented, like out of this world talented. They don't do anything. Not that they don't do anything, but they don't show people often. And then they're in the lab, they're doing their thing, and then I'm listening to something, and I'm like, bro, this is magic, bro. Why don't you just drop this? Like, what are you doing? Why are you waiting? Why are you doing this?
You'd be surprised,
and
man.
then like, I've said I've been on both sides. I go to the other side and I'm doing my thing, and I'm like trying to create, and I understand how difficult it is, not only to just create, but also to let go of something, or to get past those doubts that you have. I understand how difficult that is. Like it's like and I understand being stagnant too, because it makes you, to be honest, like it makes you not want to work on it. It's exactly. Like I don't even want to hear myself rap today. Like I don't even want to hear myself on a track.
You got to at some point, man. Like I'm learning that like you just got to get comfortable with like what you make, because if you're not, nobody else is. And obviously some people are gonna like your stuff more than you are. But I feel like just having that, like, I don't know, it's definitely a confliction, like you said. It's a battle and a fight to try to like find that love genuinely, without having to force it just for the sake of wanting to meet a deadline or wanting to release content. So it's definitely wanting to like make sure people have stuff to hear and know that like you're still getting better and working, but at the same time making sure that you're getting better and working.
Yeah, for sure. And it feels good to get it out too once it's done. So like talking about you today, like you having an album out, it feels good when it's out. It feels good to get the people's reaction and to hear people speak on the tracks in the album. Do you have any random question? Do you have any music videos planned?
Definitely. The first track, I Spit This for Primo, I'm in the process of trying to get that actually finished. It's probably going to come out by the end of the month, fingers crossed. So hopefully by the time this comes out, like, you know, end of July. Honestly, after that, it's just kind of, you know, spur of the moment. If, you know, we find an opportunity to get a video out, then we'll definitely make it happen. But I want to get that, you know, Primo video done. I think it's going to be amazing, just the concepts that we already got.
I'm hyped. Do you got what's your team like? What's your squad?
Oh, I mean,
who do you work with?
I've been working with my bro Kevin Douglas, my bro Kizza, that's his name, Kizza. Yeah. He's a part of Envision Productions. Originally we were just kind of doing a run and gun kind of style, you know, for the past 2 years. He was helping me out with my visuals for like a large part. I don't think I would be in a position I would be in if it wasn't for him. Nice. Making sure that the videos came out clean. Shout out to Kevin, you know. They're actually going to be doing the Primo video, so I'm excited to finally get back to work with them. Obviously my bro Shane, he's been in my corner for the past 6-7 years. You know, I don't have a manager per se, but he's been like the main equivalency for that like gap, and you know, just nothing but support from him. So it's not really like a team that I could list off, because honestly it's a lot of independency. It's a lot of doing things like just from home, and you know, it's a DIY process for the time being, and I'm definitely ready to expand the team when the moment's given. But
for sure.
You know, for the time being, I'm just doing everything here.
Right now, you got your homies that make art, but it's your corner, you know. Which makes sense. Like it's the same with my homies. Like we're all on a team now with Project Feel, and we call that our team. But everybody's still doing their individual works. But luckily, we just have a group to go to be like, yo, I want to do this, I want to do that. How can we support? And like that's the big thing, is having those homies to reach out to, be like, yo, I want to do this, I want to do that. How can we reciprocate and like, you know, make it happen for us? So I'm asking just because I'm glad to hear names is the thing. Like it's hard to do it all on your own, and there are people that love that, but that shit is. I can't imagine, man. Like you gotta create the music first, right? You gotta do the music. You gotta set the deadlines. You gotta then put together the track list. You got to put together a concept. If you're doing an album, if you're doing an EP, you got to make sure all the tracks blend well. Then you got to put it out. Like you got to do even just making the art for the cover. Yeah, the cover art. Posting on different platforms is difficult enough too. Like all the details, all the metadata, and then you got music videos, and then you have to pick your shows, make sure you're going out to shows, make sure you're getting on other shit, bro.
Like sometimes like you just like wish you had that machine behind you. Just like make sure like anything that you can't get done on your own, somebody's watching you with a checklist. So, I mean, and that's like that's what it means to have a team, you know. That's what it means to have, like, you know, label support in a lot of cases, but for independent artists to have people around you that you could like be like, yo, just can you do this for me, kind of thing. And that's it's a blessing when you have those people, but it's, you know, you got to earn that. You really do need to earn that. And like, you know, I feel like any team or any support system that you have, you can get anything done. It doesn't have to be limited to a label. You know, I've seen artists do it independent and just like smash all expectations without having any label support behind them. And that's honestly kind of the point that I want to get to, where I don't need to like compromise in a sense, or like, you know, whatever the case is, like I want to be able to like make my craft to the best of like my access without hate my phone.
Oh, you good, bro? You good?
You know, just being able to make art without having to compromise if I don't want to compromise.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, sometimes you have to, you know, do things on your own to get to, you know, that point, and that's kind of been the story for the time being.
Yeah, for sure. It's you know, it's difficult when you're trying to make art and you're trying to do this thing, but also like, you know, money is a big conversation that happens a lot, and it's like to have a team, you got to also have
money.
the revenue.
A budget,
you know?
a budget is such a big necessity nowadays.
Yeah, man,
bro.
it's wild. How do you? I mean, it's a little bit outside of art, so it's not.
No.
Like,
it definitely ties into art.
Yeah, but how do you? I guess. What's your day job?
I work at Vans. If you're ever in Queens Center Mall and you need to get a pair of Vans, ask for your boy John. I'm right here.
Hell yeah, that's fire.
Yeah, it's just, it's right close to the house.
Yeah.
I'm
right
able
there.
to interact. I'm kind of, building on just like being more social, and
That's good.
it pays bills, and it's
Yeah.
kind of helping me save up. So
For sure.
not being able to say that like musically I have an income coming like steadily, because we got to be honest, streaming isn't really paying
At all. Yeah.
at all,
Especially
And-
Spotify.
especially Spotify. So to know that's where your main source of like listeners come from, and then you have to worry about actually getting booked for shows, and that's how you get your income.
Yeah.
It's just trying to find any way to get money any way possible, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm not too proud. I'm not too proud to get a day job. Vance is an amazing job. I love everybody there, and they're supportive to us. Oh my God.
Yeah, you good, bro?
Shit, I'm good. I'm tired as hell, bro. I was up
feel you.
all night making sure this whole release was like,
I mean,
good.
it's today. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is
You're
a big
right.
day, right?
It is, but I have a support system at my job, and
that's
they support the career choice, so I'm
That's
really
good.
happy to have
That's
that.
good. No, it's I hate having a day job. But like you gotta do what you gotta do. Everybody at some point, especially coming up from where we're coming, like everybody knows. Like when I talk to an artist, I'm always like aware that they got their own shit, and they have nobody out here is like, passing out money.
Enough.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And everybody, we're all working to get to that point. So, and it's nice to ask, because it's gonna be sweet, in the future, whenever that is, to look back and be like, yeah, that was when I was working at Vans, or that's when I was working at. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Now I got 20 of those just in my closet. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that's fire. I guess one leading into the other, but I guess how are you feeling? How are you feeling as of late? Just generally. Yeah. The weird question. It's a tough one, but
No, it's about feelings. I like it. Definitely been a little more ambitious as of late, and this project has a lot to do with that. Just making sure that I'm not making the same mistakes I made prior to the release, which was like, I use the word stagnant a lot, because that's honestly how it felt. It just felt like I was stuck in a place where I wasn't making content. I was a lot more focused on my personal life, and I'm thankful for the time that I had to kind of reflect on things that I would push aside just because I was too focused on music. But now that I'm at a way more balanced point in my life where I can release stuff, I can make sure that I'm still stable in the mind, and I'm not, doing too much of one thing. It's pretty content. Like, I'm pretty calm. I'm just really excited for the future. I want to get back into work, and I want to make sure that, I'm doing everything necessary.
Yeah. And the reason I said one leading into the other, because I also want to talk about, like, what are your plans for the next, short-term, long-term kind of thing?
Definitely want to do more shows. I feel like I haven't done as much performances as I'd like to do.
Yeah.
Hopefully I could get one out by the end of the summer.
Yeah.
If not, get it started by the beginning of the winter.
Mm-hmm.
I have another project that I have in mind. I just want to make sure that the singles that I have lined up is also, coming out planned.
Yeah.
And it's just back to regularly scheduled program, project, single, video, and like I said, it's stuff that's gonna eat up my budget, but it's that balance that you gotta make sure you're ready for.
Yeah, you gotta talk to venues. There's a lot of venues out there that are looking for artists, and just honestly just slipping your name in and be like, hey, look, this is me, this is what I do. I just released this, I've done this, I've done that, and some, all it takes is you to be interested, and venues will probably be like, yeah, just you want to be in this show, or this and that person, you know what I'm saying? And also talking to other artists that have projects coming out, because they're probably doing shows and they probably need people to do their shows. Like, it really is just about reaching out. I want to see you in a live setting, honestly.
Thank you, bro. I mean, it's gonna happen soon, bro, and I'm gonna invite you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm of course gonna keep you in mind for anything that we do, because Project Field does events too. So, you're definitely gonna be on the list, because I'm genuinely impressed by your work.
I appreciate that.
You definitely spit,
man.
and I'm excited for all my other friends to see your work as well, because it's always exciting to meet a new local artist, especially when they're talented. It's like, oh, this is fun. Like, this is it. You know, I love finding someone and being like, I haven't heard this, and I love hearing this. You know, yeah, for sure. So I guess for what's your long term? Yeah, I guess that's
definitely, you know, as much as you want to say music's going to be your life and, you know, you don't need a plan B, everybody needs a plan B.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like I want to put myself in a position where even if I'm not physically in front of the mic, if my words aren't, you know, on the record, I still want to be involved in the music industry because I just feel like you just have like a certain place in life and you need to like stick with it. And I feel like music is just always going to be like
your place.
A real large presence in my life. So
that's good.
Management. I mean, I was going to college for music management and marketing.
Oh, really?
So COVID kind of, you know.
Oh, wow, true. Because you graduated 2018, right?
2017.
2020.
I'm mad, I forgot. 2017 and 18, I graduated from Bayside High School.
Nice.
And like I said, COVID kind of effed up the plan, so taking a little hiatus for the time being. But, you know.
So you plan on going back to college at some point?
Yeah, I mean, I had the opportunity when COVID was kind of offering, you know, online courses, but it was also like wanting to stay too focused on music and not wanting to take a detour. So
it was an opportunity as well to like really just hammer it home on your craft. So
exactly,
that's good. Glad you took that. Yeah, man. Well, I hope to see you in more and more, you know. I want to get you on a few tracks as well, like, you know, I got all the homies, I got a lot of rappers and everybody's always looking for some bars, so like I would love to see you on, I would just love to see you collaborate with my group of friends. It'd be fun to see that. And yeah, man, is there anything that I guess you want to end off with? Any other things you want people to know?
Honestly, I don't really got anything else that I haven't said. You know, QU-Herald dropped today. It's available everywhere, all streaming platforms. Music video for I Spit This for Primo coming out soon. And I just want to keep working. I just want to keep getting my name mentioned. I want to keep being in front of people's face. And, you know, I think now is, you know, the start of that process. So I'm just really grateful to be able to, you know, start this with you. This interview was amazing. I rarely get a chance to, you know, talk face to face with people.
Yeah, for
sure.
Know, no, it's nice.
It's been a while, so it was definitely a great experience, and I'm really grateful to be on this.
No, of course, it's my pleasure to have you on, man. I honest to God, like, you know, seeing your work, I was like, yeah, this is it. You know, this is somebody that I would love to speak to and have on the show. And thank you for coming out all this way. Do you have any words of wisdom you want to lead us off with? Anything you want to say? And then we'll end off.
Queens forever.
There you go, Queens forever. Shout out to Queens, yeah.